All right, guys, I'm about to put the sealing on the oil pan. Get ready to install the oil pan. So, let's do it. I apologize for the window. Got to have my garage door open because I can't close my garage door while I got that engine hoist supporting the engine. So, just like the front engine cover, I'm gonna put a 5mm bead all the way around the oil, all the way around. Continuous bead. So let's start right here. Trying to have a steady hand. I'm gonna put it on thick right here on this edge here, where it meets up with the front engine cover. Now the manual says to put the front of the oil pan, you should put the sealer on the engine cover, but I'm assuming that that's the engine out. Well, my engine ain't out, so I'm putting it here. Okay, so right here on these corners, I'll make sure I got enough stand on the corner where it mates up with the front of the engine cover. All right, so there go my bead. So now I got 10 minutes to get it installed. I'm not gonna be able to hold the camera in and try to get this underneath there on the cradle, so I'll chime back in once I get it installed. And I'll show you the torque sequence and all that. Okay, guys. I'm getting ready to put my oil pan back in. And once again, if you don't remember, you're gonna need additional clearance to get that oil pan out. So, as I've mentioned before, you need to loosen that cross member. This cross member right here. It's a whole cradle. We just call it a cradle, if you will. We need to get that to drop. Right now, I don't have the engine raised. I got my engine puller just to hold the engine in place while I lower that cradle. I'm not gonna be able to lower it and hold the camera at one time, so I've already lowered the cradle. I just want to give you an idea. All I need is about another 1.5 to 2 inches to get that oil pan back in. Because remember, you know, you only got 10 minutes from the time you put that RTV engine sealant on that oil pan to get it installed and torqued. So I've already got my chain set up, engine is supported, and I lowered that cradle. Let me see if you can see it. But here, if you notice here, right here, here's the cradle on the back side. You take the boat all the way out. All the way out. And on the front side, let's see. If you notice there on the front, I got it dropped about, that's probably about an inch. You got a little guide pin. I don't want to lose that guide pin, so I got it just enough, you know, so I can get that oil pan back in. But if you notice there, you see the guide pin to the left and then my boat to the right. So I got it lowered enough so I should be able to get that pan back in. So I'm not gonna be able to record while I get the pan in, but just give you an idea what it takes to get that oil pan out. You need that additional clearance. So if you don't have an engine hoist, I've read where some people use jack stands to support the engine, and hockey pucks and all this other stuff. So just use some common sense and some ingenuity, and then you should be able to get it done if you don't have an engine hoist. All right, guys, so I have installed the oil pan back on the car. Of course, let the engine back down and put all those mounts and all that, put the cradle and all that back to up to spec. Now I'm gonna, you know, go ahead, since I got that lift, the valley and all that open, I'm gonna go ahead and close that up. I've already did the DOD, you know, plug those holes and all that. And I'm gonna go ahead and close that up so nothing can fall down in the engine. Go ahead and button that up. So before I do that, you know, for the valve lifter oil manifold cover, I'm gonna replace the gasket, which came in the kit. It's a GM part. For those who care to know, it's part number 126-23104. And that's the gasket for the valve lifter oil manifold cover. And then also, here's the torque sequence, those who care to know. Torque into that sequence. And we slowly plugging away at it. Slowly plugging away. So let me get set up. I'm not gonna show replacing the gasket. That's pretty straightforward. And I will pick back up when we start torquing the cover down. All right, so I put the valve lifter manifold cover on, and I've just snugged them up. And we want to torque these to the first pass to 11 foot-pounds and the second pass to 22 foot-pounds. I took the liberty of going ahead and marking on my cover the torque sequence so I don't have to, you know, keep referring to my phone. So the first pass will be 11 foot-pounds and the second pass 22. And it's a 13mm bolt. Number 5. 6. And 7. And 8. And then 9. All right, then let's go to 22. All right, second pass, 22 foot-pounds. All right, and valve lifter manifold cover has been torqued. All right, now that the valve lifter or manifold cover has been torqued, I'm gonna go ahead and put the pump, high pressure fuel pump, back on because I don't want to take the chance of nothing falling down in the hole. Now they say that the instructions say to, when you tighten this down, you want to make sure that for one, that you're on the flat side of the lobe, and you know you're on the flat side of the lobe when you're at top dead center, when number 1 is at top dead center. I am at top dead center. I'm looking at the piston now. The number 1 piston, let me swing over so you can see it. I'm at top dead center, as you can see. Okay? And what you want to do is you want to alternate. You want to alternate evenly, tightening that bolt. Now I already got it hand tight, finger tight. And now I'm just going to alternate slowly, bringing it down. And then we'll torque it to spec. And we'll call it good. And of course you got the gasket under there and all that. But make sure make sure you do this at when it's on the when the lifter is on the flat of the lobe, and you know that's the flat of the lobe when you're at top dead center. Number 1 is at top dead center. And just alternate. Just take your time. You ain't trying to mess nothing up. We done got this far, so let's finish it on up strong. Get the right socket here. Thought I was already set up. Here it is, right here. Taking my time, alternating back and forth. And that's that. And then we torque it and call it good. Okay, so I've evenly tightened the high pressure fuel pump down. I started off hand tight to get them as snug as I could with my hand. And then I just alternated evenly back and forth from left to right side until it's all the way down. And then we want to torque those bolts to 18 foot-pounds. 18 foot-pounds. 18 foot-pounds. And this is a 13 millimeter bolt. That was already, that might be a little bit over. Well, you get the idea. 18, that was too. So I'm gonna back these off just a little bit and get the right. Make sure I got them torqued correctly. Not that it should. I'm just gonna back it off just a little bit. And I'm back with 18. All right, 18. Our pressure fuel pump has been torqued down.